subscribe to the channel. We growing out here. Make sure you hit that like button on entry, help a nigga out through the algorithm. Okay, so let's get to this topic. First topic of the day. We held off on this topic last episode because I wanted some more time to fully, get into this topic and respond to this video. It's a long video reaction we're going to get into. It's Mysonne speaking about his relationship with Vlad from VladTV. And this goes into the whole Mysonne, Lord Jamar, Godfrey, and many other black artists, creators, comedians, entertainers on his platform. They just kind of took a step back and okay, we'll get into it, but let's just react to this first and then get into the specifics. Okay.
Hey,
What was the line with
That's the
VladTV?
debate.
What was the line? Because that was your man.
Oh,
50
man.
grand.
That's such a big conversation.
every
I'm so
time-
glad you brought that up because I can't wait to
that up.
give my.
Every
So
time
that
I
was
used
my
to see
son's
him,
man?
That was his man.
That
He
was
was in
my-
security,
that-
man.
I wasn't in security, but
Man,
I
I'm
was.
saying a
security.
little bit, a little bit.
A little bit because
A little bit.
because
Like up until recent
A little
times.
bit, a
because-
little
Yo,
bit,
N.O.R.E,
a little bit, a little bit.
oh
but
my
he tried. This is what he does. Hey, let me give you a pound.
A little bit. You know I know my
Give
shit.
a clap for him.
He's doing his own VladTV shit.
No, he was.
love
Yo,
Vlad.
listen,
I used to
Vlad
love
was his
Vlad.
man too. Like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
my
man,
man.
that's my man.
We
You
know
used
Vlad.
to
Yeah.
love
Still is.
Vlad.
So listen to
I
me.
used to
So
love
let me
Vlad.
tell you something.
I
We know
know
Vlad.
I got love for him.
For about a decade, right? Vlad has been my friend. Was my friend, right?
You don't
And-
say friends either about people, so
No,
that he really was.
He
your
was my friend. Like Tamika knows, I told her this is my friend. Like everybody who knows, this is my friend. I've had arguments with people. I've gotten debates. All of this was my friend because I first came home. You know, I'm fresh up, trying to do.
Okay, let me pause it here and make it clear to everybody that Mysonne and Vlad were friends. Like he said that specifically many times, but Vlad also viewed him as a friend. Just gotta keep that in context when watching this.
This Vlad was like, yo, I got an opportunity for you to get a record deal. I had this single that was out, Jim Jones on it. He shot the video for me. He helped me do all this shit. Like, we're gonna get you a record deal. Got some money in my pocket. Was helping me do a lot of shit when dudes who I done shit for in this industry didn't do nothing for me. Dudes that I thought was family. I came home with nothing, didn't do nothing for me. This was one of the first people that just fuck with me. Honestly, wasn't on no bullshit like, yo, I fuck with you, I like your music, boom, boom, boom. And we started having conversations. I'm like, yo, I fuck with the dude. He's a white dude. He don't really know much from the hood. He's not hood, but that's who he is. And he'll tell you, I'm not hood. He got a website. This is what he does. He posts shit. He like, this is what I do, Mice. You know, I post shit. You know, and I'm like, okay, cool. But just understand, you might have to deal with that. Like, oh, I get it. Okay, cool. When you do some bullshit, I'm gonna check you, because that's who I am. I'm never gonna let you do some bullshit on my watch and not check you. Boom. But when somebody do some bullshit to you, and I know it's bullshit because they think you're just a white boy, I'm gonna check them. Like, okay, I know you're a white boy. You think but he's my friend, so we're not gonna play that either. So that's been my position in his life for a while. So he'll come to New York. If he was when he lived in New York, we hung out all the time. Boom, boom. I knew his family. At the dinner, at the table, bring me to his house. Like, this is my friend.
Yeah, real friendship, right?
This is friendship. So niggas can say what they want, nigga. I've never been a nigga you can buy. You can't pay me for nothing. I'm not a sucker. You know what I'm saying? I've never been. Anybody who knows me know I stand on what I stand on. But he exhibited a level of loyalty and friendship to me that wasn't exhibited to people that I thought was my family and friends.
Right.
And that's just a fact.
This is a lot.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. So for years we went through that. I took flack with him when he did shit. I had beef with Hot 97 when he was talking about all type of shit. Me and Ebro had conversations. Mr. C like, yo, this is my friend. Whatever it is, I get it, but this is my friend. Me and Wack had a conversation, some shit he did with Ray J. This is my friend. Yeah, whatever. All right, Wack, I hear you, but that's my man. So I'm not letting nothing happen to him. That's just a fact. And this is real shit. Like, nigga, he had real shit, and I had to step in like, okay, I get what you're saying. I'm gonna make him fix that, but I can't let you do nothing to him, because this is my friend. So if you cross the line of that, then understand this is still my friend.
Right.
I've done that on the strength of who I am as a man. The part where he crossed the line for me was in this situation with Minister Farrakhan, right? So when the situation happened, I didn't know what was going on. You know what I'm saying? People calling me, blah, blah, blah. I see this on the thing. I'm like, Vlad, what happened? Like, oh, you see what he said? I'm like, what did he say? I don't understand what you're saying he said. He's like, yeah, I just did an interview with, who was it?
D.L. Hughley.
D.L. Hughley. You know, D.L. Hughley said what he wanted to say. Nobody talks about that part, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway.
D.L. Hughley is my friend.
That's her friend. And I know D.L. Hughley, but nobody has called him to the table about what his part in that situation, because he didn't even know he had a part in that situation.
He is my friend.
Okay, I'm going to have to flash back to see what his part in that situation was. I covered that before when Lord Jamar and Godfrey were speaking out on Vlad and their situation, so you can flash back to that and see what the hell he said there.
Walking in full sight, deceiving whoever they can deceive. That's Satan. Those of you that say that you are Jews, I will not even give you the honor of calling you a Jew. You're not a Jew. You're so-called. You're Satan. And it's my job now to pull the cover off of Satan so that every Muslim, when he sees Satan, pick up a stone, as we do in Mecca. Did you hear me, Brother Abdul Malik? When you know who Satan is, you don't have to kill him, no. The stone of truth. See, that's what you throw. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop.
You know, this kind of whole, I personally feel this is coming off the heels of Farrakhan's 4th of July speech.
Sure.
Where he said, those of you that say you're Jews, I will not give you the honor of calling you a Jew. You're not a Jew. You're so-called. You're Satan. And it's my job now to pull the cover off of Satan. And he went on to say, like, every Muslim, when they see a fake Jew, grab a rock.
Cap.
And this is kind of what I feel is the energy, and a lot of people look up to Farrakhan. I mean, I've interviewed N.O.R.E members multiple times.
Right.
I've used FOI for security. Overall, I think the N.O.R.E is a group that helped out a lot of people.
Right.
Hearing statements like that bothers me.
Or his involvement, but let's continue this.
A big part in that situation.
And that's that.
That's it. He had a part in that situation.
Thank you very much.
Everybody ignored his part. Well, I guess because Vlad is a white dude that they didn't like. Cool, I
That's
get
right.
it. And it's
That's right.
He's a white dude that they didn't like.
That's
so
right.
cool. So he asked D.L. Hughley some questions. He said this, and he labeled it saying that the minister calls for violence against Jews. So I'm like, Vlad, where did you get that from? He sent me a clip. So when I see the clip, I'm like, I see the clip, but that's not the whole clip, Vlad. Where did you get this? Oh, he's been saying this. Okay, well, what does that got to do with this clip that you just sent me? Because this is not the whole clip that the minister said.
All right.
So I sent him the whole clip. I said, you need to listen to the whole clip, because you'll realize that he didn't call for violence. He was talking about something out of the Bible that it says throw stones at evil and this and that, not the Jews. You know, those stones of the evil. When you see him throw stones of truth, not physical stones to hurt nobody. He was using scripture. So when he said, oh, I didn't see this whole thing. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take it down. Me and Trey had conversations. Trey called me like, yo, boom, boom, what's going on? We got on the phone with him. He said, yo, I'm gonna take it down, and I'm gonna say that out of respect, I'm taking it down, even though I don't agree with a lot of things the minister said, but I'm going to take it down. I said, okay, cool. I can't tell you to agree with what somebody says. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, cool, that was enough. He took it down. Everybody like, nah, you need an apology. Like, yo, he calls me like, Mice, you know, I'm not gonna apologize because the situation is something I don't feel like I have to apologize. I took it down, I misquoted it, I did everything possible, but people are now trying to make me apologize. Now, when I heard the apology thing and make me apologize, I said to myself, damn, This reminds me of the situation that happened with Tamika when they were saying, yo, you gotta say this, and you gotta say this. And the whole community's like, you need to say this. And I'm like, yo, nobody can't force you to say what you don't want to say. Who gets the fuck to tell you how to talk, right? So this was my thing. I'm like, yo, listen, you don't gotta apologize, but you gotta right the wrong. You gotta take that shit down and say you made a mistake. Now, if you don't wanna apologize, cool. I'm not asking you to apologize, right? And he's like, yeah, you know, thank you, because it just messed up. So cool, you don't want to apologize, but you got to deal with the ramifications of not apologizing, because the Nation of Islam is going to want an apology from you. Now, if you willing to deal with what comes with that, cool. He's like, you know, fuck that, because I stand on what I stand on, and I'm willing to lose friends and everything behind this. So I'm like, okay, that's how you feel. But you fixed the wrong. You took that shit off the thing. You said you made a mistake. Cool. Now, Royce comes up. Yo, he had a conversation with him, say, oh, Vlad said, I give Mysonne money, I done this and that. And I'm like, okay, well, why would that conversation come up with you and Royce? Where would that, give Mysonne money for what? What have you ever gave Mysonne money from? You've loaned you've done shit for me like in crisis that friends would do, because I thought this was my friend. If you call effing like, yo, I need this, I need you to give me $500 right now for some shit that's going on here. All right, send it to me. Effing ain't gonna go and say, yo, I've given N.O.R.E money, because that's your friend, right? This is your friend. So the fact that he had a conversation with a man about money he gave me that wasn't really nothing, $700, like, nigga, we've been I thought we was friends for 10 plus years. So when you having a conversation with another man about what you do for me, I don't even know where that comes from. So that's one thing. Then me and Royce get into a back and forth debate about it. Boom, boom.
13 hours on social media.
Roy, I mean,
bro, damn near drove me out of my mind. I couldn't believe it.
On Instagram, we had a live. Trey is calling me like, bro, get off live right now. Trey is texting me like, get off. I'm mad because I'm having a conversation with a nigga, Jesus. And we going back and forth, and I'm like, regardless of what, I'm gonna stand on what I stand on, and this is my friend, but obviously I'm starting to realize I might not be his friend by the way this conversation is going, right? Me and Royce like, but why would a man say this? And even though I still had a situation with Royce, you got my phone number. You could have called me. You didn't have to put some shit on Instagram. And that was my issue with Royce. Like, Royce, you got my number. If you didn't have my number and you said, Vlad said he did this for Mysonne, I wouldn't feel a way. But the fact that you got my number, we supposed to have a relationship, I feel you out of pocket for that. So that's really where my whole thing with him is. It ain't even about Vlad at this point. It's about me and you, blood. Just say, yo, you know what? I could have called. No. And he's still standing on, I shouldn't have called you. He said that, so I said it to the world. I don't understand why you think that's okay. So we going back and forth. After I get off the phone with him, me and Trey have a conversation. Trey like, nah, bro, boom, boom. That's my brother. I'm gonna take in I'm gonna absorb what he said to me, right? Everybody's calling me saying this, I'm absorbing. So I called Vlad. I'm like, Vlad, I just don't understand how a conversation about you giving me money came into a conversation with you and Royce. Like, where did that, I thought I was having a private conversation, this and that. So I remember, so we going back and forth. I'm like, but what is it why don't you feel that you want to apologize? Is there an issue? He like, listen, I said, when Nick Cannon got into the situation, he apologized. Yeah. He said, well, Nick Cannon had to apologize because his money was affected, right? He said, my money ain't been affected. I had the best month in VladTV ever. So I said, so you telling me that if your money was affected, so it ain't about principle for you. It ain't about you standing on because you told me I'm standing on what I stand on as a man. Right. So now, if that was your money being affected, then you would apologize. So you don't feel that black people affect your money. You don't feel like disrespecting one of the leaders of black community affects your money. So you don't feel like you have to apologize. Because if it affected your money and this was a bad week for Vlad, you would go up and say, yo, you know what, I apologize. That's what you're saying to me. He like, I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying that, but we gotta be honest. If it was affecting my money, I would have to think differently. I said, so you say you wouldn't lose friends, you wouldn't compromise my friendship, throw me under the bus for protecting you as a friend, lose Lord Jamar, all the people, black people who've been holding you down for years because it's not affecting your money. So we just expendable. But if it was affecting your money, you would apologize. You ain't gonna affect your money because you know that we gotta deal with shit as black people from this community that you profit off every day. You don't give a fuck about that. I said, okay, Vlad, I realize now, you never was my friend.
We have been hoodwinked.
At that point, I realized you're not my friend. You feel like I benefited you in some way, so you kept me around because I don't jeopardize or benefit or take away from your money. The minute that I take away from your money, then you're gonna do shit for me that makes sense, right? At that point, I realized we not friends. You know what I'm saying? He drew that line. It wasn't nobody else. You can't talk me into not being mans with my man. Nobody can. Right. If I call you my friend, only thing that could damage my friendship is you. Nobody can't tell me nothing about you to change. I went to that man and he looked me and he talked to me on the phone and told me that he wasn't gonna apologize because it didn't jeopardize his money. Even though it harmed black communities and the people that I love and people that I looked up to, even though it harmed them, it didn't jeopardize your money. So because I came to you as your friend, who you know was frontline with you, willing to take beefs and shit from you and say, yo, this is probably the best thing to do. You didn't. That wasn't something that you.
After he
took
told
in.
on Rick Ross, you still running around with him in New York.
Because I said because you're a citizen, nigga.
He's a citizen.
Rick Ross beat you up. You get it. I didn't think.
Goddamn, I was holding. You
know what I'm saying? That's your job. Look, listen, how else you gonna get? How else you not gonna go beat a nigga up? He ain't gonna shoot nobody. So I didn't take it as that. I took it as a civilian. Did the civilian shit.
Yo, everything he said there doesn't look good for Vlad. It was absolutely facts what he was saying. He was never your friend. He pretty much used Mysonne, his whole friendship, or alleged friendship. Godfrey he used, Lord Jamar he used them to elevate his platform, used them as recurring guests to bring that spotlight for certain topics, used it to get his discussion pieces off, but he didn't affect their money, or they didn't affect his money. So it's fucked them, and that shows he clearly was never their friends. But it's like, and everyone wants to, like Lord Jamar, Godfrey, Mysonne, they're doing this whole Vlad boycott. And for good reason, for the way he just disrespected them and used them. And when he says it doesn't affect his money, it seems like it's inefficient because there's no real counsel for like black entertainers where there's leadership and people are on the same page or can get on the same page with meetings and sit downs or whatnot. Because people are still going to Vlad, the TK Kirklands of the world. And these guys still have their relationships with Vlad. They see how Vlad does, but they don't care. A lot of these guys that still have these business relationships with Vlad, that's exactly what they are. They're business relationships. They go on Vlad, they do their promo. They don't care how deep their actual friendship is. If they're expendable to him, they probably don't care. Because you can't see all these things. You can't witness the Lord Jamar, the Godfrey, the Mysonne incidents, see all these incidents and be like, okay, this guy he's still a good guy, or he's a thoroughbred nigga and he's actually gonna look out for his friends or whatever. That's not, you can't get that impression from seeing the way he deals with his people. So there's no way you could be in it for trying to be like, okay, this guy's a legit nigga, like he's solid. You're not gonna get that impression. You're gonna get, okay, he's about his business and his business only. He doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about your community. He just cares about the business of how his operations go. If money's not affected, then it's business as usual. And this is what happens in the black community, in our community, because it's like we don't have ownership of a lot of these things. So someone like Vlad could come in, get that acceptance, everybody be cool with him, whatever, have a black wife, have black kids, whatnot, and disrespect black leaders with his chest out if it doesn't affect his money. And that's why he brought up the Nick Cannon thing. It affect Nick Cannon's money because he's working for Viacom, so he has to apologize. There's no morals. There's no, oh, I was wrong, I'm disrespecting a black leader while making money off of the black community. There's none of that shit. It's, oh, it's still not affecting my money. These niggas is stupid enough to still come on my platform and support me and give me more money while I'm disrespecting their community.
Get a job, nigger.
That's exactly what he's saying, because people would rather be high-paid niggas, high-paid Negroes than stand for something most times. It's like, I wouldn't do an interview on VladTV. What for? Even if it does benefit me and my platform or propel me, I'm not doing that shit. He needs to make right with his shit. And when people like Mysonne, Godfrey, Lord Jamar say he needs to make right with his shit and stop being so egotistical and narcissistic up his own ass type of shit, like, oh, I'm not, it doesn't affect me, fuck you niggas, fuck all the friendships, fuck all the shit that y'all been through with me because it's like it doesn't affect my money. Y'all are pawns pretty much.
If you don't get that bullshit out of my face,
if he's gonna come with that energy, it's like, nah, you can't support that. At the end of the day, it's like everybody wants to get rich. Everyone wants to secure the bag and protect their bag. But if you're not standing for anything all the way up there, then it's like, what are you really doing? That's what you call selling out at that point. If you're not standing for nothing. You don't have to align. You don't have to agree. You just have to stand for something. I'm on that side. I'm not going to tell anybody to stop watching Vlad. I'm not going to try to influence that. The major thing that would influence the decline in Vlad's viewership would be the black content creators, the black artists, the black entertainers, comedians, to stop really fucking with him and going on his platform and giving him those interviews. Is that going to stop? Probably. I don't know. I would say probably not, because it's mutually beneficial to the two parties and people aren't really looking out for the greater good. But then when we want to complain when these things happen to our community, and we want to complain that the Stop Asian Hate resulted in felonies for people trying to, assault Asian people, which it should, because it's like, there shouldn't be no Asian hate. They stood up for their community. They got their shit done because they have people in position of power that move the needle. While our community, we can bitch, we can cry all we want. We can get all the injustices we want. We can show it. I keep showing this. I have the hour of police brutality. And when I compiled all the clips of me talking about police brutality, or even just showing it to just raise awareness, I compiled all these clips, and what it sounded like an hour of complaining. That's what it sounded like. And I put it out there. I'm like, it is what it is. That's what it sounded like. Because at some point, you got to do for your own. You can't expect others to do for you and expect shit. You got to do for your own. And if our community is not willing to even put up a council of something where we're just like speaking and we're agreeing to certain terms to mutually benefit the community, not just each individual trying to be a high paid Negro and think that's the way out. Like, that's not. There has to be some sort of teamwork and community in the community. Can't just be a word. So yeah. The reason why I'm not going to go out there and try to influence people to cancel somebody, because I don't do that. I'm not in for cancel culture. But as if there was a council, if there was some sort of order, there was some sort of organization that we had as a community, and I was sitting up at the board and I'd be like, okay, we're voting not to go on VladTV until he apologizes and makes things right and shows some damn respect to our community. Because it's like, we're not even trying to X the man off the planet. We're not even trying to take out his we're not trying to take out his empire. We're not trying to say fuck him, cancel him, shut him down. It's just like, nigga, apologize, show the appropriate respect. And if you're not going to do that, it's like, we're not going to fuck with you. It's just that simple. But spent a long time on that. What else do we got here before I wrap up the episode? Wow, one topic, wrapping up the episode. But that's deep though. When you look into that, it's deep because it's like, this shit is ongoing. This is like a year in. And the message from Lord Jamar and Godfrey's pretty much died until Mysonne brought that back up to the Drink Champs podcast. Shout out to the Drink Champs. I left the link to the full interview in the description, or the clip from the interview, whatever's in the description. The clip that I use is in the description. Shout out to the Drink Champs. Fair use. Shit. What else do we got here?